Hey folks, chasing the truth. I thought I'd come on the last few minutes of Halloween and do Occupy Halloween for just a little bit and see how you guys doing. I got the Dogman cam stuff going on in the background. Just wanted to hop on and see how you guys are doing, see if anybody would be up at this hour on a Sunday night on Halloween. We'll see. Hey Phil, what's going on, brother? To see you, good to see you. I don't have my usual stream set up, but I thought, well, why not? Let's go ahead and do this. I've got Vault of Nightmares backyard set up, and we're going to look at this, and we're doing live on-stream calls, of course. If you want to chime in, 931-994-6117 is the dude. What's up, Keith? What's going on? Well, you got your you got your answer there. Got your answer there. Sounds like there's some cars going on. Candy Girl, what's going on? Got your answer. I did go on tonight, so hold on just a second. I gotta do something real quick. One man band. What's up? All right. Sorry about that, but we're sitting here just doing our thing. And I said, why the heck not? Everybody else has done one. I kind of helped on with Dogman Camps for just a minute ago. And if you want to be a part of the show tonight, you can call in tonight, 931-994-6917. But the way I've got the audio set up, the unscreened caller side of the things is the actual, that's where the audio is coming from. So if anybody's calling in tonight, that will be that side of things if you're looking on the visual side. So definitely like, share, and subscribe to this stream. Andy, what's going on? Yeah, this is a surprise. This is a surprise. I just thought, well, why not? You know, I ain't got nothing to do. Miss T, she's got some stuff going on. So a couple of her friends she ain't seen in a while, so over visiting her. And I thought, well, I ain't got nothing to do right now. What am I going to do? Sit there and watch videos all freaking night long? Or do I want to share this thing called Vault's Backyard? As you can see, there's a chair that Vault and Lakea both were in the remnants of their bonfire they had tonight. One-Eyed Willie, well, right there she is. That's the thing in the background there, One-Eyed Willie, and hopefully the audio's coming through. Can you hear the audio okay, folks, from the camera? Sounds like it's doing a whole lot better than it was earlier. It was skipping like a son of a gun. And the audio should be a whole lot better because the way I had it set up previously for Dogman Cams, I just thought, well, how can I do this? How can I do, you know, pop in Dogman Cams with the Rio link? I'm going to do about an hour, give or take, until I say, well, I'm done, or if Miss T's done or whatever. She's out doing her thing with her friends. And here I am in this old spooky house. I could go out and hunt for ghosts, but I said, nah. Sounds better. Great. Fantastic. So how you guys doing? Have you had your fun for Halloween tonight? Nobody else from the Dark Waters family on the other side knows about this. I did pop this in the Dark Waters and Dogman Cam's Facebook feed over there, but that's about it. Awesome. I don't think there's a whole lot of people on the camera tonight at this hour, so we may have pretty good audio. I don't see anything going on. Let's see if see what's going on with the clear. Let's go with the fluent and see how that goes. That may change how it looks. Yeah, there you go. That may help out that audio a little bit more. I hear crickets going on. That's definitely crickets. Vault's going over footage now, so it's just me. Well, okay, there you go. You're going to hear a little bit of a Diet Dew. I've got a Diet Dew thing. That's one thing that if you want to know, besides coffee, what I like to drink, I'm not going to drink any coffee tonight, but Diet Dew's about as packed. I don't know. Coffee? I don't know. The way I drink coffee and how... Oh, there's old Tony. Hold on just a second, folks. Tony from One Man Band is on. All right, Tony, hold on just a second, folks. Well, we've got the audio set up. As soon as I put Tony on, you will. Well, you might be able to hear it, but Tony won't be able to. Yeah, I'll be able to. I'll just have to move it this way. There you go. Hey, Tony, what's going on, brother?
Oh man, just another day. I didn't think you were going on this late, but hey, I love it.
Hey, I'm like, you wouldn't believe. Hey, Dragon ZW's in there.
Hey, there we go.
Now we can have a party. Dragon ZW is here. We can let our heads or our hair down, which I don't have that much. Actually, I cut my beard off, just about it. I was kind of looking like a Grizzly Adams there for a while, but Miss T did not.
Hey,
like
Dragon
it
ZW, Dragon ZW, man. Hey, it's Halloween. I guess I guess we got 30 minutes or so, or 20 minutes or so. Dragon ZW,
yeah.
Man, call in. Hey, we need one from you.
Well, hey, Jeff Harding's here. What's up, brother? Hold on just a second. If I'm going to have a third person in on this conversation or whatever, I don't know. Yeah, well, I don't have my other computer that I had set up for. I actually put that daggone thing to sleep.
Did I do too much, Sean?
No. You're good. You're good. So you did not on the other side over on the Dogman Cams thing talk about that bloody milkshake. You want to run that? Look, I want to hear that again. I want to hear that again.
Okay. Well, hey, Sean. By the way, stop me, ask questions. Because I'll get going and I won't stop.
Alrighty.
So,
right ahead.
So a couple, multiple years back, I used to carouse around, and I had a thing for bartenders and waitresses. That was the thing that I liked, I guess you could say, at that time. And
kind of notches on the on the bedpost there.
Yeah, nothing that any young guy, I guess you could say, that wants to do. And we went. My buddy's like, "Hey, let's go to Hooters one night." I was like, "All right," And I saw a girl in there, big boobs, blonde hair, but she had something about her, and I was like, there's something about you that I like.
Oh, yeah.
We went in there a few times, and I ended up, eventually I ended up sitting in her section, and I kind of, I guess you could say, not charmed, but I figured my way out through there, and I got her information, and we started talking, and I'd go and see her from time to time, and probably once a week. There was a certain night they used to have all you can eat wings, and I used to go in there and eat that, and she'd kind of hook me up with some things, and one night she goes, "Hey, let's hang out," random, kind of not. I guess we've been talking and thinking about hanging out, but she just one night just randomly at probably 10 o'clock at night, but hey, let's hang out. Hey, I ain't doing nothing tonight. It's a Saturday night. Let's do something. And so she came over, and she said, "What's your favorite?" And bear in mind, I was sick this week. I didn't go out. I actually had a stomach issue. I was taking medicine, and I couldn't drink or I couldn't do anything. I was home, and I was just in pain. And so towards the end of the week, it was Saturday. I was feeling a lot better, and she asked me, "Let's hang out." I said, "Oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea." And she said, "What's your favorite milkshake?" And I asked her, I said, "Well," or I told her, I said, "Well, I have multiple kind I like, but give me a cookie dough shake." And she goes, "Oh, that's easy." She's like, "I'm gonna go to Brahms," which here in Oklahoma, Brahms is big. We love Brahms. Anyway, and she comes over. We're watching. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Jeff Hardy said, "I like Hooters for their all-you-can-eat waitresses night."
Hey, Jeff, you're not lying, my guy. You're not lying.
Oh my, yeah, there you go.
Anyways, I've stopped. I've since, I guess you say, I've since stopped being such a heathen. Anyway, that's funny, Jeff.
Yeah, go and keep on going with that story, man. You ain't got to
Okay.
the bloody milkshake part yet.
No, you don't. Hey, okay. So, yeah, and since then, okay. Anyways, I'll tell the rest of the story and then tell what my side opinion is. So she comes over and she gets me a cookie shake, and we're sitting there, we're watching. There's a show. There was. I don't know if it's still there now, but it's called The Order. It's about werewolves, witches, I guess maybe vampires. I can't remember. I haven't seen that show in a while. If everybody in the chat knows that show, then that's the one that I'm talking about. But we're sitting there watching that, and we're talking. She's like, so, and we're just asking, you're native, I'm native, yeah, blah 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 blah. And she's like, yeah, and just talking. And the whole time that I'm drinking this milkshake, I probably drank maybe a little bit. I wouldn't say a lot, but like the first time that I drank that milkshake, I said something's off with this. I'm like, oh, that doesn't taste like a cookie dough milkshake. There's no, like, that vanilla doesn't taste right. It was kind of a metal taste. It just didn't taste right. It just was off. It just didn't taste right. And that was the first sip that I had. And so we're talking, and I let it down, and it's melting. You can tell it's melting, and through the lid, and it's sweating on the side. I'm like, she's like, and so she's like, yeah, I really enjoy the witch side of things, and I didn't really take much about it. I'm just kind of, hanging out. She's a pretty good looking girl, you're just trying to get to know her and whatnot. And every time I probably took, like I said, 3 or 4 sips, maybe not even that. It just did not taste right. I just couldn't stomach it. And I wasn't going to tell her that because I was trying to be a gentleman, whatever.
All right.
And so I drank that, and so she ended up going home. That's not even, and so that's not even, like, I guess really the whole crux of the story. So as we kept talking, and like I said, this went on for maybe a month. This whole time period was a month. And I was still going to see her, but I knew things were off. And and for me, I'm not really a woman chaser. That's really not been my thing. Guys get really, I guess, thirsty, and they're just like, they cannot help themselves. I'm just not that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been that guy. I just, not saying I'm ugly. If you have me on Facebook, you can see that, I'm not like a super ugly guy, but like I'm not like the best looking guy. But I've just never been that guy that just goes after women like that. And I could feel myself being that way. I wanted to know every move she made. I wanted to know everything about her. Like, I was just so infatuated with her. So I hung out with her. So the time frame, I guess you could say, I'll be a little bit more in depth than I was the first time. I met her. So the first week I met her, I went out, a couple times with her, like to Hooters. I say Hooters. Yeah, went to Hooters, and then the second week, I went out twice or 2 or 3 times, and then at the end of that second week, that's when she wanted to hang out, and so it was on that weekend, going into the third week. So that third week, I was just so, like, I could not. She would not leave my mind, and it was weird. It was the most weird feeling ever because it was like uncontrollable, and so it ended up being, as the week came on, or as the week, like as we get to the month period, that weekend of the third week, she goes, "Hey, I know you're into this type of stuff, like some things, and this and this," and she's like, "Would you want to come to a meeting?" And I'm like, "What do you mean a meeting?" She's like, "Oh, we do things, things, like she didn't kind of go into it. Well, I was like, I don't know, I don't really know, I don't know what you mean, and like I'm so confused. So she's like, "This is what I mean." And so she started sending me pictures of things levitating. So to the folks that know the things that knows, I didn't know anything about this. I know medicine men. I know medicine men that do things. I've seen things. Things like that. But I've never seen nothing like that. She sent me a video, and I said, "No, you're playing too much." She said, "No, this is what type of meeting we're doing." But she didn't want to say to me, like, she just sent me a video, and I started like, "Is it like magic?" I guess that's the word I used. And she was like, "Yeah, we do things, and I'm practicing I don't. Is it Wiccan, witch? I don't know the phrase."
Well, there's so many subcategories of that kind of practicing. Wiccan is one of them, but I don't know. Well, Kay would probably be the lady to talk to you about how many different subcategories of somebody practicing witchcraft would be. There's probably as many as a Southern Baptist and Baptist kind of religion.
And I'm looking at chat right now. Keith King, he asked was the milkshake off at each time. I only had the milkshake one time, and each time I drank it, like took a sip from it, it was off. It just something was not right with that milkshake.
All right.
I just saw that in chat. So she was like, well, so she, like I said, she, sent me those videos, and she was just like, "Hey, this is what I do. I believe in this. I saw she had a bowl in the middle of her table in the middle of the day. The sun was out, and that thing literally levitated probably 6 inches off the table. And, as being somebody that knows things, I say I know things. I've witnessed things. I've heard people say things, and I know what's going on. It sent a chill down my neck and down my spine, and just made me feel off. But at the time, like I said, this is a good-looking woman, and at the time I was chasing, and she had this hold on me. I didn't care about that, and so, as we kind of, as the day goes on, she goes, "Hey, we're having another meeting tonight, but I need you to be drunk." And I thought that was kind of weird at first. She's like, yeah, I need you to be drunk. And I'm like, why? Why? She said, well, it'll make the experience less freaky. And I'm like, being someone that doesn't, I've never dealt with that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, well, I started getting drunk. I started drinking, and I was like, it is what it is. But I didn't get too drunk. I just got to a point where, I still had my inhibitions, and I guess tipsy, and I still was like, there's something not going right. And that was the first night. We ended up kind of she said, no, not tonight. And so the fourth week, on the next week, we talked, but I knew there was something off. Like, she wasn't as totally, involved as she was prior weeks.
All right.
That was the first week. So this fourth week, this last week that I had dealt with her, it was St. Patty's Day weekend. So I think St. Patty's that weekend was on a Saturday, and I think this was on a Friday. Don't quote me on that, but I knew it was around St. Patty's Day. And she goes, and so I went in there one night, and she's like, "Hey, we're having another meeting, and do you want to come?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm down," because I'm still in the mode of hey, let's see what happens. And still, in fact, not as infatuated, but just it's just she's really interesting to me. It's not the same as it was in the prior week. And she goes, "Okay, I need you to get drunk." And so my red flag went off. And I think she realized when I was like, and I started asking more questions than I should have, I guess, is really what it comes down to. But her red flags went off. And she told me the location of this place that we were going to meet. And it was like 5 minutes from my house at the time. And I cannot for the life of me, and I wish I could remember this name, but it was almost as if she told me this name, but it wasn't in the same language as English. And it's blue, and all I can remember is blue. But I can't remember that second word. And it's a bar, but it's not one that's known. And I cannot for the life of me remember the name of that place. But she told me to meet her there. And like, I'm already at my house. Like, I saw her earlier the night, and then I went home, and then she was like, hey, meet me over here. And she said, it's not on a GPS, but it's on like this street and this street, like on the corner.
Right.
And, I mean, she didn't give me a GPS or anything. But something told me that,
don't go.
You know, I should. Yes, exactly. Something told me.
Don't go,
I mean,
Tony.
point,
don't go. You're going to get
exactly.
yourself. Yeah. Okay.
Literally, Sean. I mean, something like I said. That told me like something was like, hey, bro, don't do it. You know, Tony, one man band, whatever you want to call me, don't do it. Do not go. And I was pretty soft, you know, like, you know, when you're soft, it comes to a point where you're like, you know what, you don't care, and you're like, blah, 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 and, you know, whatever happens. I don't care what happens. But something pierced through that drunkenness and just said, no, don't do it.
Right. Yeah, Lakia is right. Just trust your gut always.
Exactly. And so I didn't go. Nothing happened. I didn't end up going. And she literally the next day, she was mad. She wasn't, you know, I mean, she wasn't like talking to me like she usually was. And she was mad. And she said, you missed out on an important meeting and blah, blah, blah. So I come to find out. And this is, okay, so that, it was over. We stopped talking after that day. Literally, it was like as if I didn't even know her type of talking. I'm a creature, as you heard me on Dogman cams, I'm a creature of verifying. I want to know what's going on. You know, I told a story on Dogman cams earlier if you guys want to listen. DDoS and Sean, I appreciate you, you know, man, doing a live calling, man, that's some gold. That's some gold level stuff.
Yeah, it's I don't know why it's so hard, but you know, you get some yahoos every once in a while that'll call in. You know, you got to be able to work with that kind of stuff. Take what you can get. But so far, it's been gold. I've had a couple of yahoos call in, but other than that, I've had some great callers.
Yeah, no, for sure. You definitely, like I said, you definitely do have that. Well, I mean, I'll say this. I'm sorry, people that are in the chat, I am interrupting this story because I know that's the cliffhanger at the very end. I'm not trying to do that to you guys, but I'll say this, man, Sean, your voice, you sound very, very professional to me. Like, I wouldn't say, I mean, Art Bell had a very voice like that. You know what I'm talking about? That voice where it's like, I'm going to let this person say whatever the hell they're going to say. And, you know, that's what you give me. I mean, that's what I get from you.
Yeah, go right ahead, you know, unless it has to do with anything that has to take the Kool-Aid or the thing that everybody's messing with for the last year and a half, which you just honestly can't say that on YouTube. Anything, unless you're absolutely for it, which, you know, well, heck, you can probably delineate that, what my arrow points to with that nonsense, but there you
go. Yeah, no, for sure, man. You do a great job, but let me go ahead and finish the story. I see some people in the chat like, man, where's this, you know.
Where's this guy going with this bloody milkshake, son of a gun?
Yeah, right, I know. And so, okay, so this is later. I quit talking to the girl. It's over. I have not spoken to her since. I come into contact with somebody that knows some things about that. Like I said, I'm a wanderer. I love to hear things I like to know things, I guess you could say. And she asked me, she said, "What did the milkshake taste like?" And I was like, "Well, it tastes like metal, but it didn't taste like vanilla. Vanilla has a specific taste. It didn't taste like vanilla."
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, "Okay, where did she want to take you? Like, what happened?" And I told the story. She said, "Was this place underneath a bridge, or was this place in the downtown area of the city that I'm located in?" And which I'm, if you, like I said, if you want to do some digging, if you want to be that person, I have told where I'm located in multiple other extremes with Sean. If you want to be that person. And I asked her, I told her, "Yep." I was like, that's exactly where it's at. She told me the place that I need to go, it's blue. And like I said, my memory is so, I'm very good memory, but for some odd reason, I cannot remember the name of this place. And I want to say it's Blue Dragon, but that doesn't sound right.
What was the name of that little people that was passed around in chat on Dogman Camps?
Oh, don't do that to me, bro.
Oh, okay.
Come on now. It ain't. I ain't saying that. Do you want me to say? Okay. Sean, okay.
It's up to you. I just asked. It's up to you whether.
I know you're wanting me to say, because you see it and you're like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that says. Anyways, Sean.
Have you ever had any communication with them whatsoever? Seen them? Been in the same area within a rock's throw?
Of those things.
Yeah, of those things.
Yes.
And you're going to say the name. And you're going to say
I'm not going to say the name. I'm not going to say that damn name.
Okay.
No, you ain't going to catch me catching no strays. You're crazy for that.
All right, brother. Anyway.
To finish the story, I talked to somebody. They said that, she did some things and she was preparing you for a certain type of quote-unquote sacrifice. So something in my gut told me to not go to that night, the last time I hung out with her, or the last time I was going to hang out with her. And I was talking to someone. Actually, you know what, Sean? It's crazy. I actually was talking to somebody, Gigi. I haven't seen her in the chat in a while, but she's in your Discord, and we were talking about that, in a private message. And she said, and she was sending me some things that she knew, and I was like, wow, that's exactly what it is. So what it is I guess that there was some type of, somebody mentioned this too in your chat, that I guess they use like menstrual type blood, I guess is what it is. I'm not sure what she used, but
okay.
That's what I was told, and I was like, yo, why would y'all do me like that? Like, disgusting.
Yeah, I would probably be going to the hospital if I had found out I drunk something like that. That would be going, oh my God. You know how many freaking tests you just put me through doing that kind of shit?
Right? It's like, I just didn't think anybody was, and that's why I'm very careful. Since then I've been careful. This is years ago. I guess 3 or 4 years ago. I've always been very, careful about people, but like, there was just something about her, and I don't know what it is. I just don't. And I like I said, it wasn't like I drank the entire. There was like a lot less of the milkshake, but I think what happened is she realized that I didn't the spell or the ritual or whatever the hell that's called. It wasn't full effect on me, and it was wearing off as the weeks went. And I think that's why she was rushing me to do that on the 4th week.
Okay.
And that's what I was told from somebody that was, in your Discord, and someone that told me on Discord.
Okay.
And I found that pretty interesting, but that's the story of the bloody milkshake that DDoS wanted to hear. Unfortunately, DDoS, I don't think he's in here, but
no, I think he's probably already went to bed. He sounded like he was about ready to, chop it up with his kids.
Yeah, and I love Halloween. I love telling stories on Halloween. I've always had different things going on Halloween, but I don't know how many. I can't. relate to you how many stories I've told you. I mean, on your show, but man, I'll say the same thing I said on DDoS's show. It's just like I appreciate giving a platform to First Nations, Indians, Native Americans, whatever you want to call us. Yeah. It just depends on the person you talk to, and that's one thing that I appreciate about the Dark Waters family and everything, because these stories that I tell, I don't think I've never heard a story. I've never heard a story that relates to mine about going through with someone that believes in, I guess, blood magic or blood rituals. Mm-hmm. I've never heard that. Yeah, I've never heard that. I mean, and to this day, I haven't messed with her. I haven't dealt with her. I mean, there's a lot more to the story. I just kind of gave,
just a
quick rundown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Lakay says, dude, you need to use some hot foot powder against her. Get her gone. So have you had any dealings with her after all this stuff? With this?
I haven't. I have not. I haven't seen her, and I haven't seen her since the last time I saw her. I haven't even seen her at Hooters. I haven't been to Hooters. I honestly, the reason why is I haven't been up. I haven't even been to Hooters. I haven't even been to Hooters either.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's I guess it's about to be. Well, I guess it might be already November 1st, but like I said, man, I mean, I don't know if you want me to hang on here, or I mean, I can get off here.
But heck, I'm just doing this impromptu. I hadn't any major plans other than showing the camera and chopping it up a bit with folks, whoever will call in. 13 past midnight. Steve Stockton, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you. I thought I just flipped a coin. I sent a message to Miss T. I said, hey, what do you think about doing an impromptu go live and show the Dogman cam off down and do some voyeurism in the backyard of Lakay and see what's going on? I don't know what they do in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
I can tell you what my neighbors do in the middle of the night, because I got cameras, and it's kind of, I wouldn't say off-putting. It spooks the living crap out of me that somebody walking in the house. Yeah, they're wilding a little bit, but I don't know. We'll see. But what we're looking for is what they've got in their backyard and back those woods back there. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
I'll tell you this, I'll tell you this about Vault and Lakay, man. They got a Vault hanging. I mean, his nutsack is hanging to the ground, man. I mean, Lakay is out here. She's with him too. That's so. For him to be out here, I mean, especially with the ender part, like the last part of, especially the original stream that DW did earlier tonight. I'm like, this dude is out here in the middle, and there's like tree. I mean, you could hear him on the live stream. The cracks. I mean, at the end of it, you could hear like something hitting.
Did you hear that a little bit? I actually had the cam running outside the stream when he was doing this live, and I heard it. It's just like somebody was snapping something. I'm not exactly sure what was snapping it, but you could definitely hear wood snapping for sure after they got, kind of put out the bonfire there.
Yeah, and that's when I was like, they're catching some gold here, and D-Dub's trying to end the stream, but you can hear it. I mean, they're kind of doing their exit. I mean, even with when we were, when Dogman came with DDoS, you could kind of hear it in the background too. Like that. I mean, I was in the middle of telling a story, and I thought I heard it. I was like, man, I stopped my story. And I was like, what is that? Because you could hear that it was snapping.
True enough.
Hey, Sean, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. Hold on a second. Okay, so 1 minute answer. What you're saying, this is from Typhon the Last Titan. So what you're saying, that she ruined Hooters for you, and that sucks. Yes, brother, she did. She ruined Hooters for me. Evil woman. Yes, I agree.
All right. Well, hold on just a second. I gotta look and see if I got. Oh yeah, I did get some pictures there. Dragon ZW. Yeah. What the?
Okay.
What the heck's that, buddy? In, what? Oh, wait a minute. Is those bruises or those scrapes? Which, yeah. I can drop those in pretty too sweet here. Hold on just a second. I found this out about how I got this set up on OBS. I can just drag and drop that, and it pops up automatically. Now I've got to do this and transform it a little bit to where it fits, stretch the screen. But what is that? Well, that one doesn't show a whole lot, but this other one does. Hold on just a second. Let me pop this one in here. Okay, hit this and go back to this. I don't know what happened to the Rio link. Oh, wait a minute, that's me. I let her go. Apparently, if you're not paying attention to the screen, this thing doesn't want to keep running in the background. Well, there you go. And here, let me get this and drag this over here and pop this up here. Well, it won't let me do that. Well, you son of a gun. You'd let me do it the first time. I just love OBS sometimes. Sometimes it makes sense of what it does, and sometimes it doesn't. And here is from Dragon ZW. And stretch the screen. So what is that? I don't know if you see it, if it's transmitted over to YouTube yet there, Tony. But it looks like...
Yeah, I'm not trying to... Yeah, I'm not trying to... Can you hear me playing in the background?
No, I can't hear it playing in the background, but...
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, what is that?
That looks like Buster Cups.
Was this from this Halloween, this weekend, or last weekend? I know you said something, Dragon ZW said something about he was still having a little bit of a problem with last Halloween's repercussions, but what is that? What made that? Was that supernatural, or what the heck was that, buddy? Let me go over here to chat.
That looks like the video, the picture that I'm seeing here, and it might be the first one that you put up, but it's got it looks like 2 marks on his forearm. Or maybe it looks
those
like a forearm.
look like something pushed their fingernails into me, is what he said from Dragon ZW, and he's had all
Dragon
kinds
ZW.
of... Yeah.
Let me ask you this question, man. What do you think it is?
Who, me or Dragon ZW?
Dragon ZW. I want to know what he thinks it is, because man, that's kind of wicked. That doesn't look like anything I've seen before, especially when it comes to marks on people, when it comes to poltergeist or
whatever,
spirits or anything.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me pop this up one more time. Let that kind of sink in. See what that is. Yeah, it looks like 2 good, I don't know, fingernails. It kind of looks like somebody grabbed a hold of you real good, but that's just from it's not, it loses some definition once you start transferring from one medium to the next. I don't know.
That's a good question. Candy Girl says, did that happen in your sleep?
Yeah. I don't know right off the bat. Got 45 people in here. Well, I didn't even expect to see a couple dozen.
Sean, that's what you're doing now, man. Yeah, you killed it with 100 people, 115 people on your, what was it, Wednesday stream, or what was it, Saturday, or what was it? I can't remember which one it was.
Well, one Dark Waters, Dark Waters, I usually push 150 up to 200. When the big boy gets on there, he gets up in 500 range. But
yeah,
but not me, not yet. I don't know. It just whatever God provides. Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, there you go. So the other pic I know, it's hard to see, but those scratches are from 4 years of scratches. Well, I couldn't really see it. I couldn't really see the first one.
What about this one, Sean? Yeah. Typhoon, was it Typhoon? The Last Titan says it looks like it might be like might be seeing some eye shine underneath the left-hand side of the screen of the camera. I guess that's Dogman Cams.
Eye shine, left-hand screen of the camera.
Left-hand side of the screen.
Right here?
Of the camera.
Up into it. Are we talking about right here? It'll take us just a second for the Crap. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put low latency, so it's going to be just a second for this thing to jump over there and process on the other side of the Yahoo, or the YouTube Yahoo. Are we up here? Well, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. Wait a minute. You know what I got? Tell you what. I worked on this. And, hold on just a second. I got a grid. Okay, folks. Here you go. Got a grid right here. What grid is it in? Is it in grid 1A or 1-1? Or 2A or 3A? Or 1A or 1B? You know, just go by that and see how that works. Where is it at? That would probably be the thing to look at. And, you know, I kind of looked at it, and it kind of was mentioned in the Dark Waters chat there once, and I said, well, grid would work. But which one is it? Is it in 1A, 2A, or 3A, since it's on the left-hand side of the screen? Interesting, eh?
Yeah, I mean, I see it up here in the, I guess it's what, 1A? That's what I see it in. It's like the very bottom.
I got to change that black to something else. It's not showing up very well. But all right, yeah, Dragon ZW's always got some wild supernatural story. The wide-eyed kids and black-eyed kids stories he sees when he goes to different hospitals, and he sees the same entities from hospital to hospital. Uh-oh. There we go.
Hey, Sean, let me ask you this question. I mean, I know I'm kind of off topic here. Let me ask you this. I know that you. I know it's. I mean, I guess we're out of Halloween now. But what is your best Halloween story that you have?
The best Halloween
story? That you're like, you know what, man, that is that bothered me, and it has to be something, you know, that bothers you when you saw it or heard it.
That I still think about when. Well, there's three of them actually that I still think about that occurred. I've told the story several times, well, two of them several times. So I'll tell the one that bothers me the most, that really got me going. Thinking, okay, I'm not in Kansas anymore. One evening at one of my first jobs. It was at an now defunct Lee County Community Hospital. I used to be a respiratory therapist there, and a code was called as I was entering night shift duty, and I was just getting to pass on along the shift reports. Code was called in the ICU unit, and of course, I was like, all right, anything I need to know majorly? No, okay, and off I went. And this little lady I've never seen before in my life was flatlined EKG dead. And we brought her back. Never had to, usually you tube a person, put an ET tube in, but this lady never had to have that happen. So her recovery was fairly quick, but she was never awake that first night. Next night I come in, I had I had ICU duty that night, so I did the EKG on her, meaning the heart tracing. And I didn't think she knew me from Adam. Oh, there you go. Hey, got some action on the camera. That looks like a big old frickin' spider, buddy. Look at that. That's all over the grid. Well, there you go. We caught it. We caught a grid. But anyway, let's get that grid off of here. Hey, Lakay, you need to tell what's his face? Vault to go out there and fix that. Smack at whatever that's probably one of those big old green looking black suckers up there. But next night I was doing EKG on this lady. I was trying to tell her how I was supposed to do it. I just fresh green out of college, and this is my first real job in the industry. And I started introducing myself. And she said, "You were there last night." And I said, "Yeah, I was here last night." And you got to get pretty close to the breasts on everybody, male, female. So I had to explain to her where I need to put these patches. Here's a series of 12 lead EKG. And she just said, I saw you last night. I was like, okay, how did you see me last night? I was floating above the bed. I was like,
Oh.
what? Yeah. And and she started explaining to me, this little lady, Lee County, Virginia, is either you're a coal miner or you're a farmer or some, you work in the healthcare field or something like that. So I knew she didn't look like she worked in the healthcare field. I thought she was probably one of these little grannies that went, back on a farm somewhere. Had no clue what anybody would do, and she told me exactly what I was doing. I was using an ambu bag on this lady and helping with chest compressions, but we got her back pretty quickly. And then she started pointing out each and every one that was in that ICU unit. This person was doing this. This person was doing this. There was a little lady with, she said, one of those nursing caps on that wasn't there that night, was taking notes as we were doing this. And I was like, holy cow. And that kind of shook my world. That was the first time I'd exposed to a near-death experience. And the next few days, I was between two jobs. I had one there, one at that hospital, and another one at another hospital. 3 days later, I come back in. I asked about that little lady. He said, well, she passed on. I said, sorry to hear that. And then they proceeded to tell me what happened. She started refusing people come see her. And she'd see them one time and tell her inside of what things were or saying the goodbyes, and refuse to see her. After she's seen the last person, what was told to me, she would say that Jesus is about ready to come back and get me.
Wow.
And then after she saw the last person refuse to everybody that, other than staff that will come in there, she died and passed away. So how you get past that and kind of wonder, is there something on the other side? When, I know for a fact that lady was flatlined. There was no activity whatsoever there.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's so crazy. It's like, not all my stories are Native American, but it's just like, I've heard stories of people doing that and that type of thing happening. It's just like, man, it's like there's no word in the human dictionary that you can think of how to explain, that type of thing. I mean, wow. I've heard you tell a story, but every time I've heard you tell it, it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I used to get really good chill bumps when I told that story, and I regret I hadn't told about the full body apparition I seen at the steps, right behind me, literally about 20 feet, top of the steps, looking down at me. I don't know if I want to tell that one, because I just, I'm going to have to say a prayer after this event too. And I said a prayer right as I was starting to really getting into the show. Said a quiet prayer while somebody was talking, but I'm kind of wondering, Sean, you didn't do this right. What's going to happen?
Yeah, no. Hey, you know what, Sean? You know what's hilarious about that? The same feeling you feel is the same feeling when I hear you talking about the LP. I'm like, hey, now. The LP,
little people.
I'm not going to say it.
The little people. Well, I talked to, here's about the little cryptids, I guess you would call them. Creepiest one I've heard was from a matey up in Canada. Talked to him for hours, and it took it. The way they talk about this stuff. The ones I've been privy to and lucky enough to hear. They have to go through every moment before to get to the point where they tell this story. And he was a young, probably middle teens, 14, 15. And his sister got married to another, young buck over there. And they moved into one of the housing establishments that was on the reservation. And it, was built up to where up in Canada at that place, their cellars were right underneath the house. But it wasn't, packed or anything like that you would see down here in the basements or anything like that. It was exposed to elements. And apparently there was these little creatures in that cellar, and they came out of the bedroom door, or not bedroom closet. That would probably be reminiscent of the last thing that we talked about over on Dogman Cams. And said it was about 2.5 feet tall, and it looked. He told me two different versions. One looked like just a small version of a human. The other one looked like the creepiest looking thing with 2 legs and arms that you can look at. And they got a call one night from her now married sister saying, "Come get us." Well, he was half asleep in the back of this car, and his mother and his dad was driving the car, and they were on their way to that new house. And here they were, the new bride and groom out on the front porch with all their belongings out on the front porch. And he said that his brother-in-law at the time was shaking like a leaf, smoking like a freight train, saying, "I'm not going back in there ever again," because they saw this thing come out of the closet and spooked the.
And hold on. Yeah. And it was 2 foot tall.
2.5 foot tall, if I remember correctly. I'd have to go back and listen to. I actually got it's one of the earliest conversations I had about these things on this show. Yeah, and he said it was just terrible looking, from what he can gather. But he said this was on the haunted reservation where this came from.
What part of the country?
I can't say. He told me not to say.
Okay.
I can't say. So,
I got you.
You know.
Well, it makes sense.
But he said that was one of the first ones. He's also said on this haunted reservation that these little creatures like to tag or kind of adopt little kids, and they would give special braids with beads and stuff in the little children's hair. And once they adopted them, it was taboo to take them off a reservation. And the parents of this now adopted by the little cryptid child winds up saying, "No, we got to move off the reservation." So they get off the reservation, and I know this kind of sounds like, okay, I kind of see where you're going with the story. Well, as they're leaving the reservation in the car has a wreck, kills the mother and the father and the child. She never got off the reservation, but they kept the kid.
But this is let me say this: how I know that the person that you talk to is telling this is what happened.
Yeah.
So these little things, I call them little helpers. They are very mischievous if you don't do what you're supposed to. How I know that is probably they may have not struck a deal. Some people do they do deals with these things. Hey, if you do this for me, and it's usually in desperate situations. I have heard that.
Right.
But I 100% believe that story. You know how I believe it?
Okay, how?
Is when you try to leave a situation, when you especially when they have specific dealings with these things, with these entities. I call them people. They are people. I believe they're their own separate thing. They have the ability to do things to you, depending on what you do to them. And I'm wondering if there's parts of the story that they didn't tell you that they did that caused that. Because usually most times there's a cause and there's effect. That's usually what happens, especially when you have dealings with these type of people. I've heard that. I've heard. A story that I was told when I was 10 years old. It was from he was a full-blood Cherokee. He saw that I do. He picked me out of the group of kids. He said, "You like this stuff, don't you?" I said, "I don't like it, but I want to know. I want to know the old ways." And I've always been that way. I want to know the old ways. I've always been this way. And he told me a story when he was a child, when he was probably 8, 9, and this is inside baseball.
Right.
Just because, Sean, been good to me. You know, you take my calls and whatever. I'll tell this story about the LP. I don't really, you know, I haven't told a lot of these stories on your channel anyways. I've kind of tried to stay away from them.
All right.
So when he was in his, you know, he 8, 9, 10 years old, he was my age. He had an elder. He had specific dealings with these people. These small people, little ones. And what the little ones did for him, and he was a very strong medicine man. Very, very strong. And he had the ability to control these little ones. Small people. And there's a word that I'm not going to, you know, there's another word that you can call him, I'm not going to say it, but he had the ability to do that. And he told me, he said, I don't know how he did it, but he had them all in jars.
In jars? Like mason jars?
He had them in jars. They were similar to mason jars. They had the screw-on lid with the, like I said, he didn't say mason jars, but he said that he had them in jars. Like the old, like where you put the spout, like in the, like, you know, like if you see like old school Rome where they put the little, like the cork in the jug type thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's what he had them in. He had it. He said, and he said this. He said I was 8, 9, 10 years old, and this old guy, he used to sit out on his porch and just hang out, and he used to drink. He used to drink alcohol, and he used to just hang out. And he said that one day he walked in there. He said, "Let me show you something. I like you, boy. You know, that's what they. I like you, boy. Come on in. Let me show you something. You might learn something from me. You know, I ain't nothing but, you know, I just, you know, whatever." He said, "Come on in here, boy." And he went in there and he said on the shelf there was all these little, you know, small. It looked like little Indians.
Mm-hmm.
He said little Indians were. He said they were all in jars, and they were looking at him like. And then he said they looked like. He said it looked like me. You know, he's full blood Cherokee. And he said it looked like me. He said I was a little boy. He's like, but they look just like me. And the old guy said, you know, he said, you know why I keep them?
Mm-hmm.
And the guy and the boy's like, no, why do you do that? He said, because they can't hurt me. He said, I keep them under and this is, like I said, it's inside baseball. So what he ended up doing is keeping these little ones under a spell or under some type of thing where they would do his bidding when he wanted them to do the bidding. So it'd be like gathering herbs, you know, things like that, medicine, finding herbal medicine, you know, or, you know, things like that. And he lived in this, by the way, this guy lived out in the middle of nowhere. He was old. The guy that the old man that I talked to, he was full-blood Cherokee. This guy was literally old ways. This guy was old ways. He was old ways, but he liked to drink. He liked to drink.
Wow.
And so he kept him in. He said that, and I asked him. I said, why would he do that? And that's what the question I asked the elder. He's passed on now. He passed a couple of years ago. His name's, what I called him was Mr. Sammy. That's what I called him.
Mr. Sammy?
And, yep. And he said he did it for his bidding because he knew how to control those little people. Oh, I about said it. Little
little helpers.
Yes. And to me, and you know, and people talk about what's the story that gets you the most. It's that one is tied for top. It's tied for top two like it's 1 and 1.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is a reason why I don't like it. I don't talk about it. That's the first little person or little whatever. I'm not saying the word little. That I've told on your channel because there's a power to it.
Can you say little cryptids or is that
I'll say little cryptids. I'll say that.
Okay.
But that's good. Yeah, little cryptids. There's a reason why I don't tell it. And my buddy is a prime example of that. He was down where I'm from and told us and was talking about him. He lost his glasses for like a whole 2 weeks. Couldn't find them. And then he found them on the edge of his porch, like on his doorway, where he walks out every day. And there's a reason why I don't do it, because I know better. That's one thing that my grandpa, he always told us. He said, you know what you know, and I've told you what you know, but you're not going to talk about what you don't know and what you may not want to know. And me being a little kid back in the day, I asked those questions. I've always been that person. I ask those questions. I want to know what I don't know. And that's where I've gathered so many stories. And people say, I've had people like, people I work with, people, that I cross with on a daily basis, and they're like, how the hell do you have all these stories? It's because I want to know what I don't know. And I shouldn't, but I want to know, because everything that we're told as Indians, First Nations, Indigenous, Native Americans, is you don't go looking for what you don't want to find. And most times people that go looking for what they want to find, they don't want to find it. And they regret it. And, with it being All Hallows Eve, Halloween,
mm-hmm. The last night I guess it's not Halloween here. I'm in Eastern Standard Time. I think it just clicked over to past midnight where this camera is situated, so it's 12:25 there. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so that's one thing that that I really enjoy and I love about Halloween is that I can tell these stories. People. I tell stories to people that don't expect to hear these stories, and they look at me like, "No, that's some old native stuff." No, and I don't want to. You call me Tony, one man band. My government name, I guess you could say, quote unquote, government name. My family lineage name, if you guys have me on Facebook, that's what I go by. And I, also one man band, but. And Tony, but that's one thing. It's to me is very, what's very important about Halloween is to share these spooky stories. I love that.
Oh yeah,
and that's why I haven't jumped on your channel, or I haven't jumped on. That's the first time you did the call-in show with Dogman cams. I haven't jumped on DW's. And to me, it's like I said, it's important to hear some of these little inside baseball stories, because you don't get those very often, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Well, Dragon ZW is about ready to call it. He is got an appointment 9 a.m. and where I can't remember what time zone you are in, but you ain't got that much longer to sleep there, buddy. For that
Dragon ZW, man, hey, you better call in on Wednesday, man.
Oh yeah. I was kind of tossing around about coming on here live. Hey, Lakea, I think that spider needs borrow a razor. It's got some hairy legs there for sure. It's about ready to cover up the damn camera, to tell you the truth. But good night, Dragon. I hope that God bless you, and I hope everything goes well with your test tomorrow. That everything comes back okay, or better than expected. Sure. So definitely.
Yep. Hey, well, Sean, hey. You know what, man? I appreciate you having me on, man. I appreciate you letting me, I guess, not co-host, but just kind of
tell a story
for a while.
Yeah. Oh, I asked you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Well, I asked you about the bloody milkshake story, and you got off into little cryptids, little people stuff. So, hey, it needed to be told. It needed to be told. It kind of added to it. Oh, well, this camera.
Well,
Yeah,
you know what's crazy about people, man? It's like I see people in the chat, from time to time. I'm not saying there's not misinformation. I see people. I mean, there's never anybody's opinion, anybody's story is valid to me, as if you believe it. But at the same time, it's like I see people talking about the little cryptids, and I'm like, you know what, cryptids. I gotta tell. I gotta tell one because a lot of people, a lot of people hear stories from other people, and they, and it's like I had the privilege, and this is not bragging on myself. I'm not a humble bragger. I'm not that guy. But I had the privilege of being around people that were old world growing up, old ways. They did things different. They told me things that I probably shouldn't have known at 7 years old. And they said things, but they said, don't do. And this is one thing, too, that I think that's another thing with our culture, with being Indian, is it's a dangerous game if you want to get into it. But if you get into it, you have to be for life. With that being said, Sean, I'm getting off here. Appreciate you, brother.
Well, I appreciate you calling in and telling those couple of good stories. I hope I didn't creep you out too much by saying little people, but there you go.
No, you're good, brother. Hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to open the door. If nothing comes in, it is what it is.
Hey, I'm going to do something real quick while you're still on the phone. I'm going to turn this on and see how this does. Go ahead and say a couple parting words.
Me?
Yeah, you. Say a couple parting words. This you probably won't be able to...
What do you mean, John?
Anything. Say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or...
Okay. I'll do this. Sean, I appreciate you, brother. Until next time, let's see what happens.
All right, brother.
Hopefully you got my voice all kind of crazy. That's what I'm hoping.
You sound like Minnie Mouse right now, but there you go.
Hey, I'll take it. All right, brother. Until next time. Hey,
all right, see ya.
Hey, yes, sir.
All right, talk to you later, brother. One-man band, and that's how it goes. So, if you got an idea that you're going to call in and prank me, while you're pranking me, you're going to sound like that last few seconds there. So, yeah, we got a hairy spider on that freaking camera there. Which, that's part of the, been out in the wild, you're going to see that kind of stuff. I tell you, 11 security cameras in my house, I've seen enough spiders on there, and luckily Miss T's not looking at this, unless she is deathly, without a doubt. The last time she had a spider in her house, I didn't hear for about an hour and a half. And she calls me back and says, I had a Mexican standoff with a spider. And I said, how'd you do that? Well, I was trying to hit it with my shoe. But yeah, there you go. Little native people. Well, I'm not exactly sure you would call these little cryptids native. Because the stuff that I hear, they're about 2.5 feet tall. 2 feet tall. The story I related earlier about the cellar closet. A little, whatever you want to call it, cryptid. It's supposed to have been uglier than sin. And it ran these brand new bride and groom couple out of their reservation house that they moved into. And they never did return. That was it. Even left the stuff they left, they didn't go back in to get it. So, what the hell was that to tell him to go get his balls out of the mama's purse? Okay, I don't know. Hey, Vault, you got a big old hairy something or other on your camera right there, brother. Go out there and get you a fly swat and swat that thing. But yeah, so this was an impromptu live stream. Kind of show off the camera and get to see what I could do on my end. Full blown. Well, hold on a second. I want to go and see see this grid thing. I may have to work on this grid. But this grid, I'm going to change those numbers and letters back to something, color from black to something that shows up a little better. Yellow, maybe, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. But is those grid lines too thick, or need to be a little thinner, or what do you think about that? On that. Or is that just right to actually, try to figure out, well, this spider covers grid 1A, B, C, and 2A, and 3A, all the way through, and maybe play bingo. I don't know. We'll see. Crazy as it is. But, yeah, there you go. You're going to let Lakea deal with it. Oh my. So it won't be till the sun's up, eh? Well, there you go, folks. It's got the Dogman cams. You're probably going to enlist that big thing. That looks like one of those big old hairy looking things. Probably be seeing that tonight. Looks like it's moved in for the duration of the night. Good morning, Sock Goblin. What's going on? Like the grid as is. Okay, that's cool. When I do this, I won't do entire shows like this with the grid because, or with the cam, but I'll pepper it in there every once in a while. But I just wanted to do be the caboose of the Occupy Halloween show for the Dark Waters family of shows. You know what I'm talking about? The Vala Nightmares, Dogman cams, Dark Waters himself, Thaddeus Cray. Oh, yeah, I did get that. Hold on just a second there, Joshua. I did find that. Let me do that real quick. I did find that. All right, I actually did get that story there. It says, hey, Sean, my name is Josh. I'm from Fresno, Clovis, California. Would call in, but I'm not great with conversations. I have a story for y'all. I'll keep it short. When I was younger, around 12 or 13, I was in bed watching TV. The way my room was set up was my bed was facing the TV, and there was a gap in between them big enough to walk through. Well, on this one night, I was watching TV, and all of a sudden, I saw a finger come up out the end of my bed. Hold on a second, let me make sure. This camera wasn't doing right. Apologize for that. I was reading. Luckily, I wasn't driving. Let me get the camera started back up, and I'll finish this story from Josh. All right, over here it is. I got too many of these things up here. Saw a finger come up at the end of my bed and go back, and I was like, what the hell? And was freaked out. Then about 20 seconds later, a huge hand that looked like a gorilla came up from about 3 seconds, then went back down. Ran out of my room and woke up, and woke my mom up, and she went in there, but never found anything, of course. Never saw or heard anything else after that. Definitely one of my scariest experiences ever. Have a great night. Love the show. Thank you, Joshua, for that short story. Sounds like, if you remember BF Bob, I think it was BF Bob, I think was the guy's name that called in. He was a jailer for a time. And I asked him, I said, have you ever noticed that when the inmates start to hooping and hollering, it goes all over the place in waves? And he said, yeah, there's all kinds of crazy supernatural junk that goes on in there. And he talked about this one, Cobra to the cam rescue. Hey, there you go. See out? No, he's not out there yet. So we're on Cobra watch right now. But he said that this one accused murderer was in the cell by himself, and he started screaming. He said he saw hands come out from under the top bunk, and then the face of the person that he killed was staring right at him. Said he went to the funny farm after that. Now, could would that send you to the funny farm? Even if if you murdered somebody and you saw the person come back and haunt you in a jail cell that you was alone with, you thought you was alone in? Chunky chocolate chip ice cream at Brahms. Oh man, that sounds pretty good. I've got some Oreo cookies over here. I may take a couple nibbles of before I go to bed. So is he going to get a broomstick out there or what? What kind of spiders you got down there in Mississippi? Unfortunately, we got those brown recluses and those little those big old black frickin' spiders I got nailed with. Black widows. I got nailed with one. Oh, excuse me. I couldn't hit the cough button fast enough. That kind of snuck up on me. Hold on a second. There you go. Sorry about that, folks. I didn't mean to cough on air there. It just snuck up on me and got to me. But I got hit with a black widow, gee whiz, probably 25 years ago. And I tell you, that was a month of utter crazy pain. My legs and feet swelled up like a watermelon. Brown recluses and black widows. Those damn things have moved up way besides the house towards the road. Well, I'll tell you what I do. I don't know about you guys down there, but I've got some house pesticide spray in a gallon jug, and I spray probably every other. Well, look at there. I do believe your son's to the rescue there. How big is that rascal? Looks like he's come to the rescue there. There you go. Cobra to the rescue. All right. Well, now the lens clear. Thank you for Cobra for doing that. North Carolina, we have brown recluse. And oh, hell no, that's terrifying. Well, I've seen both, me personally, hit with black widow. I cramped in places I never thought you could cramp in. I had cramps on the back of my head. Cramps, it was just like one spot was cramping, another spot was cramping. It was just like incohesive, impromptu cramping all over the place. But I've seen people got hit by brown recluses. Those has a necrotic venom. Black widows is more like a venom from a rattlesnake. It's like 14 times more powerful per ounce than a rattlesnake's bite, or maybe even more. But there we got a clean bill of health for the clear view there on the Vault 1 cam. Thank you to Cobra for that. Lakea and Vault's in there. Has the activity picked up or went down since all the dealings with the bonfire? Holy cow, my tongue is about done for the night. Since the bonfire, has the craziness went down or went up? I haven't heard much other than a couple of dogs barking in the background. A shotgun works good too. Well, I wouldn't know if you could use a shotgun on the camera, but the camera may not be working. Oh my God. 12 gauge, 20 gauge, 50 BMG. What do you think? Something with a broad spectrum spread of something. I don't know. Cam looks beautiful. Looks good to me. I want to stay on for about maybe another 15 minutes. But if you want to call in and say howdy, 931-994-6917, as we look at the Vault of Nightmares backyard, do a little voyeurism, see if we can see what kind of spooks, haints, or cryptids that might be in the backyard there. Thank you, Cobra, for the clearing of the camera there. They moved towards the road for some reason. If I remember correctly, wasn't there like somebody that squealed their tires like they stopped and then moved real quick off in the distance while you were doing that live feed? Or if they saw something out on the road. I would say that probably would come up with that. Trevor said the spider was huge. Well, it looked huge from my end. He shaved the legs of that spider. It looked like it had hairy legs that needed shaving. But there you go, Vault. Next time you're out there, you need to look for those big-ass spiders. It was hairy too. Oh man, yeah, it was for sure. But you'd think since I got nailed with a black widow, I would be scared of spiders, and I'm like, okay. I'm not that deathly scared of spiders at all. Ghosty, not so much now, but I can jump out of my skin if I get the right scare of a ghost, for sure. But Candy Girl says, I heard yells earlier in the distance. You guys rewind it back later when the guy was telling the story. Okay. I heard something barking in the background right there before Tony One Man Band was on, telling his story. Which again, thank you, Tony, for being on the show for a few minutes. That was fantastic. But yeah, if you see, since I have, one of my things that I did back when I was actually working for a living was sleep lab manager and did sleep studies, and I did all kinds of stuff with IR lights and IR cameras. And I didn't really notice anything like this before. It kind of looks like snow falling. Every once in a while, if you see snow passing by, that's actually dew. Fog going through. There was one night, even on my cameras, it looked like it was snowing outside and it was 70 degrees outside and it was fog. Just passing through. A whoop sound. So if you see a lot of like orbs pass by all of a sudden, it's probably just fog or dew passing by the camera lens. But yeah. Oh man. Got a good clear view of the camera there. I haven't heard any kind of craziness since One Man Band hung up with me. And audio is not doing so great like it did earlier, but you can still hear the audio every once in a while. You heard Joshua said, we heard a lot earlier when Vault was out there. Yeah, right as they were about ready to end the stream, it got pretty active with the noise. Sound like cracks of wood and stuff. I don't know how far away or what they heard from their perspective. Oh, what was that? I heard something. If the audio would clear up and quit pausing every once in a while. But there you go. Give it about another 10 minutes and I'm going to call this a night and say thanks. And I hope you enjoy the Dark Waters Occupy Halloween weekend. He had quite a bit of content out. Oop, hey, there we go. I tell you, I was trying to jump on that this particular cam while he was doing that live stream earlier. Hell, it was hard as hell to keep a connection. Everybody was on there. I don't know how many people was on there, but it was nothing like that. But tonight it's actually acting pretty good, other than the hairy spider showing its face for a little bit. We heard a lot earlier than Vault was out there. That was it. That's what you heard earlier. The that noise I heard. Or like sounded like some people talking out in the distance somewhere. There's 80 people. It looks like they like to watch the camera. They're doing some voyeurism. Well, I'm watching you, watching them. So you got 80 people on your IP address. I should jump on there and put my IP address in Czechoslovakia. So if you see somebody from Czechoslovakia with IP address, it's probably going to be me next time. So just to let you know, Vault. I heard something that time. Sound like coyotes there for a second. You got a lot of coyotes around there? Vault. Let's see. It's on Fluent, so yeah, there we go. sort of does sound like the coyotes in the background. Way, way off. I don't know. You still got plans for that LBL camera? You were mentioning it probably 2 shows ago with me. Razor Wolf brother from down under. What's going on? Glad to see you on there. Happy Halloween belated. What time is it there? Probably about noonish, 2 o'clock. Something like that. Hope you're feeling better, buddy. Been praying about you. Praying for you. And yeah, we're just watching Razor Wolf. We're just watching Vault's backyard there. Seeing what we can see. I don't see I don't see One-Eyed Willie back here in the back here. I don't know if you can see my big arrow. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can see that. Let me check that out. See. No, you can't see my arrow like you can see it over there on Dark Water side. It may be the difference between a MacBook and his computer. I think he's got a Windows-based system. But there you go. And still, I didn't get it set up the way I should have, or I'd have some way of highlighting comments and stuff. I didn't get that set up straight away. Should have before I popped on. But I got a little excited and decided, hey, I want to go on, play around, see what's going on. Uh-oh. Thought I heard some footsteps or something there. But if you get to access the Dogman Cams project, you can carry on as long as you want to. You don't have to worry about batteries on this thing. This thing's plugged up. You just got to hit that pesky go away message every once in a while. Uh-oh, we almost had a few seconds of clear sound there. Willie's probably on a date with his lady Squatch for Halloween, or collecting some candy or something. Yeah. You got any owls around there, Vault or Lakea? All right. Willie's got himself a chair now. Well, Vault has kind of hinted or teased that he might be going up there and found a spot at LBL. I don't know. You'll have to ask him for more detail. I'm just going off what he offhandedly said once, that there was talk about it. So, will they be? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I've been in part of the corporate world in healthcare, and I've learned when somebody says, hey, I need, this is going to happen. Okay, I'll file that away, and I'll hurry up and wait. Not that I know of, no owls around there. That's interesting. That fellow that I had on my show, one-man band, only time I've heard the phrase One-Eyed Willie is never mind. Owls, according to the Shawnee that I had on my show, he wanted to go by the name of Owl, A-L. And he said a lot of the dark magic shaman that showed up on his dad's property like transforming owls. Shot one, and it would fly off, and a few days later in one story, the owl that they shot, a few days later, one of the dark magic shaman wound up with a gut shot in the hospital. And he kind of put 2 and 2 together and said, oh my God, this dark magic stuff works. It's real. Well, you lagging. What are you lagging about? I wouldn't, seeing this is off the back woods in the backyard. Now, I've seen deer on my own camera, and mine's a fairly populated area up until about 2 miles out in either direction. You know, 2 miles out or 2 miles in or right in my backyard, you can see white-tailed deer. I don't want to see a black bear in my backyard, but I've seen it as close as 2 miles away. It was a skinny-ass black bear, too. At first, I thought it was just a big dog. But no, it was a really skinny, frail-looking black bear climbing over a guardrail on a little 2-lane highway down the side of a mountain. But you never know what you're going to get here. You know, I was kind of looking. I was just something breaking out of the barrier of the woods there. And you kind of wonder, would they run past that camera and set off the? Do they see? Now, the one thing that speaking with Greg Connor at great length, he's had all kinds of little electronics and stuff, and come to find out, he has this theory, which I believe the theory is correct, that they can sense 60 cycle EMF, electromagnetic frequency stuff. So can they see IR light? I about damn can say that's a possibility, if not a fact. Uh-oh, I thought I saw something back here in the back here. Right here. I'm focusing in on. I thought I saw something right in there. I don't know if you got fireflies down there or not, or if they still out. If it's still season for them, I think it's too cold here. There was something about right here, right above, right in there. I thought I saw something that may have looked like a little eye shine, but that's pretty close low to the ground. But you never know. I'll take a bear for $200, Alex, over a Dogman any day. I don't know. Bears have got that all you can open claw package they've got on board. That's the one thing. I see all these people going through these rural areas, and they get out of their car with these black bears and mama bears and their little cubs, and they're like, "You stupid idiot. Why in the heck are you even getting out of your car? You know, hightail it out of there with your car. They can rip open the car door without no problem. Especially if there's a mama bear and a cub there." But that's just me. Me too, a couple minutes ago, ran across the screen, it may have been a deer. Okay. Could have been. It's not out of the spectrum of possibilities. All right, folks. I think I'm done for tonight. I appreciate you showing up for my impromptu 1 hour, whatever I've got going on here. I don't even know how long have I been on this thing. Let's see. I don't know. Hold on a second. Let's go over here. I've got it down here in the time clock. 1 hour, 33 minutes. Hit that cancel. Go over here and unblock this thing. So for the folks that come in here and wanted to see the last little bit of this show with Dogman cams, and you just say, well, I don't want to listen to Sean just ramble on. But if you do see something in the cam, obviously that grid will help out quite a bit. A1 through B, C. You got A through B and C, and 1, 2, 3 on the grid. Leave a comment if you do see anything. At least you got that to say, I saw it in this grid or that grid. May need, is the grid got enough appropriate grid lines? Does it need to have a more robust gridding system there, or what? I don't know. The more you add to it, the less you're going to be able to see. And I'm kind of wondering, is those lines too thick? But that's just me thinking out loud. Where's the grid out? And turn that grid off. But there you go. I think you had a heart attack if you saw Dogman. Well, I would say I would have a heart attack if I seen a Dogman. I would have a heart attack if I saw a Bigfoot or a little person or the little cryptid that one man band and I were talking about earlier. But ghosts kind of tick me off. They kind of is like an invasion of privacy. Typhoon, Last Titan, awesome show. Well, didn't do a whole lot other than allow the caller, one man band, to tell his stories, and I told a few lame stories. But I hope the audio came through okay from the camera. Unfortunately, the popping and stuff with the camera, that's just the way it is with the audio. Looks like everything looks good. The grid system and the way it looks all right. Everything okay? But again, thank you for everything. And I'm going to say a quick prayer. Thank you, God, for this day. Thank you for all the people that showed up, and bless each and every one of them. Keep them prosperous, safe from everything evil, demonic, alien, extraterrestrial, interdimensional, and everything in between, out for the ruin of the souls of man. Keeps them safe. For the folks that are sick or in need of help with their soul, their mind, please send your angels of healing to those folks. Bless my house, bless my computer system, my electronics, and I rebuke everything in the name of Jesus Christ that I just before mentioned, out of my life and out of my house, never to be seen again. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. Folks, I appreciate it. Holy cow, Mr. Lurkslot, what's up? You been lurking? Well, buddy, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between outside of that, which I'll have that for another discussion. If you want to follow me over on Instagram and Facebook and all the other crazy socials that are in there, Rosa Wolf, God bless you, buddy. Appreciate you. And if you want to, it's cheap, it's easy, it's free, actually. Just hit that thumbs up or share it, or even if you like the vibe, subscribe to this channel. Or look at imdarkwaters.com, dogmancams.com, the Vol of Nightmares. Look, hey, if you got the Teesprings and all that kind of stuff for Vault, y'all, pop those in, those links. But yeah, this is one of the things I like. Oh man, we'll stay on for about 5 more minutes since the audio cleared up. And there it went out. I thought I heard some dogs barking in there. Off in the distance, it sounded like. Crazy as it is. Well, now I'm not going to stay. The audio cleared up long enough for me to hear something, and it sounded like there was dogs in the background. But anyway, oh well, I'm done. Folks, have a good night, and God bless y'all. Catch me this Wednesday on this channel. I'll be back at 8 p.m. Central, and we'll do this same thing. Maybe not so Dogman cam forward, but there'll be some Dogman cam footage in there, I'm sure. But God bless y'all. Candy, Holly, Typhoon, Razor, Mr. Lurksalot, the Vol of Nightmares, and Lakea. Happy belated anniversary to you guys. I believe they got married on Halloween, if I remember correctly. But happy belated anniversary to you guys. Hope you had a great anniversary. Let's see. Joshua, thanks for that story you sent in through text message at 931-994-6917. Sean G at imdarkwaters.com. One man band, thanks for calling in, telling all those great stories. Let's see. I think I probably got everybody that was chatting. Nickel. Yeah, there's Nickel. Chekhov call. I believe that's about all. If I missed you, I apologize. But if you seen anything on the cams or heard anything at all, comment in the comments after the show. But thank you, and I appreciate you. And should I? Yeah, why not? Let's see. Might as well do this while I'm thinking about it. End tonight, Naomi. What's up? Thank you for popping in for the last few seconds of this show. Let me get my thing I worked on, the intro outro. Here we go. Thank you, folks. See you next Wednesday.
Do ghosts really exist? Are we alone? Is there life after death?
It looks like a giant ape with a man's face.
We've done some testing to determine